you today?
I am very good, thank you. A bit tired because it's pretty late in Norway, but apart from that, I'm good.
That's good. It's 10 p.m., right? 10:04 right now, right?
10 p.m. Yeah, it's pitch black darkness outside at the moment, so yeah.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Well, welcome to the show. It is so cool and awesome and badass and epic and really amazing to have someone as talented and awesome and badass as you. So before we start, you know the drill. Yeah, so before we start, I have to give you an epic, super welcome. So here we go. There you go. There you go. I know it's epic. I'm still working on, to make it even like more louder. But in the meantime, so yeah, again, thank you so much for being here. Now, starting with the whole interview now, tell me how your acting career started.
Oh my gosh, how my acting career started. It's actually an interesting story because I've always liked to entertain, but I also have terrible stage fright. When I was young, I thought that I was going to be a musician. So I have a few musical tattoos and everything on my body. And then it didn't really work out because, every time I would go on stage, I would panic and freak out. Once I was on there, it's fine, but it's just the time before, it's just horrible. So then I thought, okay, well, I'll try being a model. And then I tried doing that for a bit. And then while I was working as a model in Australia, I landed myself on a film set as an extra. And it was just like the weirdest thing. Like, it was like instant, it's like love at first sight, basically. So I was there, I was just an extra. We were there for 8 hours straight. There was a lot of waiting around with a bunch of people. We spent hours and hours filming like 2 or 3 minutes of one episode.
Yeah.
I just loved everything. Like, I loved the vibe, I loved the crew, I loved the people, the catering place where we had lunch. It was just like everything was just so cool. And I looked at the lead actors and I was like, man, I want to do that. Like, could I do that? Maybe, I don't know, but I really wanted to do that. And I also, at that time, was a really big fan of The Lord of the Rings and fantasy and Star Wars and all of that. So I just started to really think about it and going, my goodness, I'm meant to do acting. That's what I want to do with my life. Like, that is the life of my life. That is what I want to do. So I started slowly doing more and more acting work, more commercials, stuff like that. And then once I moved back home in 2014, I went, right, I'm going to focus on acting now. So I just went all in, did a lot of courses, and now I've just been super busy building my acting career from that point until.
Yeah. There you go. And let me tell you that you're killing it. At the moment, you're killing it with your career. That is super awesome and super inspiring, by the way. Now, So back when you were recently starting with your whole acting career, tell me, like, what were some of the challenges that you had to overcome, like to continue?
One of them was the stage fright.
Yeah.
To be honest, the weird thing though is that once I just decided that this is what I want to do, there was no problem. Like, theater is still a bit of an issue for me. I get a little bit like, I don't want to be on stage, but I still do it. But in front of a camera, it's like nothing matters. It's just like I go into this mode where, you don't care. If you mess up, you don't care. You do it again. You make an effort. You show up prepared. So one of the biggest challenges was just letting go of everything. All of the feelings of how it should be, how you should behave, all of the fear of messing up. You just have to let it go, and just because a lot of acting is impulses. It's what you do. It's you act on how you feel, and if you're nervous, you forget your words too. So you kind of just have to let it go, breathe, and just jump into it with both feet, and be prepared to be vulnerable as heck. Be prepared to scream, to cry, to do stuff that you would never do in real life, and really feel those feelings. So that was a bit of a challenge. And then also figuring out how to memorize lines, because there's often a lot of lines. It's a challenge. That was in the beginning, and then just going with the flow.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Yeah, I can totally understand that. I mean, as I was saying before, that I can't even remember my phone number sometimes. What can I expect for me to learn like a whole script, of 20, 30 pages,
Yeah,
Totally.
it's a process.
Yeah, it's tricky. I understand, of course. Now, in 2010, you were in a short film called 48. So was that like your first film? And what are some of the things that you remember about, like, from that first experience?
Yeah, my first on-set experience was Elephant Princess in Australia. That was the one I was telling you about before. 48-hour film project was a film project that my friend had, where you have 48 hours to write and film an entire concept. And that was the first time I was filming an actual film.
Okay.
And my experience, it was exactly the same. It just cemented that feeling that I got, that this is what I want to do. Like, I loved it. I loved talking to people, like meeting more creative people.
Yeah.
I had a smaller role as well, but it was so much fun just being there. So yeah, it was great.
That's great. Now, what would you say it's an important aspect for character creation, but from the actor side?
From the actor side, character creation. Oh man, you have to bring yourself into it, because what what I feel makes a character individual is what you bring to it. So you have to read, first of all, you have to read the script, and then you have to sort of understand the character, and you also have to understand where the character is in that particular scene that you're doing, because you know more than the character knows. Like, that will show on screen if you know something that you're not supposed to. So you have to make sure that you're always following the character arc. You never judge your character's choices. If you're playing a villain, you have to agree with everything that villain believes. Like, in your mind, you have to convince yourself this is right, because if you don't like what your character does, it's not going to be authentic. And you have to, like, there's only so much that's in the script, but you have to create a backstory. If you're not provided one, create one. Give your character more life. Give your character maybe some things that they do, some things that the way they talk, maybe they have weird habits, give them more than what you see on the script. You don't have to act it out, but as long as you have it in your head, it makes the character more real. And I think that's a pretty big deal. Like, you don't really create a character because most of it is on the script. Like, so you have like a set frame, but within that frame you can do so much. So just have fun with it,
Yeah. Now, do you take like for example, when you're preparing a character, would you take like certain inspiration from people you met in the past, or like, how is your process?
I do. I like to observe people, and I know a lot of actors say that acting is observing, because you observe people and you pick up things. And of course, I mean, I am the product of all the people that I've met and all the life that I've lived. So yes, definitely. But my process is mostly just digging into my feelings and my emotions, and just going with more experiences than people that I've met, because I don't want to copy people. I feel like that's kind of not my way of doing things, but I definitely draw on feelings and emotions that I have experienced before.
Okay. Now, in 2016, you were in Rocktalk. So tell me, was that your first, the first time you were doing voiceover?
It was, yeah. The voiceovers that I've done, I have to say, they're all Norwegian versions of the voiceovers. So they're not the original English versions. It's like a dub of them. But yes, it was my first time. And you know what? I've always wanted to do voiceovers, because I'm a bit of a geek and I'm obsessed with that sort of stuff. So I have emailed so many sound production places and never gotten a response. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm done with this. One day I was just in the building of a place that had a sound production place, and I just knocked on the door and stood outside. And when they opened, I was like, all right, so I have emailed you 4 times. I have got no response. I have experience, because I had some experience from radio beforehand. And I was like, you guys need to give me a chance. And he was just like, Okay. Can you send me an email? And he must have seen some potential in me, because he called me a week later and was like, "Hey, do you want a part in this movie? It's called Rocktalk." And the crazy thing about it was that I had just seen that movie in English. And when he said Rocktalk, I was like, "No freaking way! Are you giving me a part in this?" He's like, "Yeah, you're gonna be the fox." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I love this movie. This is so cool." So that was good. Yeah. So good experience for sure.
That's amazing. Now, what do you think it's important for those who want to start doing voiceover should know?
First of all, don't do what I did. Because the reason they didn't reply to my emails was because I sent them an email saying, "Hey, I've always wanted to be a voiceover. I don't like, I sent some references, but not many. Don't do that. Get some experience first. If you do podcasts, you make your own stuff, get some training. There are courses. Do something first so that you have something to show them. And then you send them, "Hey, this is me. This is my voice. This is what I do. Please add me to your voice register and let me know if there's anything that I can, that my voice fits." And then you keep updating them and keep asking, but make sure you do it professionally, because the emails "I've always wanted to be a voice actor" doesn't work. Like, they get so many emails. They don't have time to get into their studio and teach you how to do voice acting. They want to know that you can do it right away, because they're on so short deadlines that they need you to go in there and do the job. They don't have time to do. So that's my first tip. And then the second one is, you have to act with your whole body when you're in the studio. Like, you have to be prepared to give it everything. Even if you're just standing there and you're using your voice isn't going to come across as a realistic voice if you don't act it out. So I like when I do my voiceover, some like to sit, but you have to like bring your whole body into it, because otherwise it will just be flat.
Yeah, totally. I can agree on that. Yeah. Now, you were in The Camera Hack and Only the Best. So tell me about those films and about your characters.
Both of those films are made by a friend of mine who runs the NDX YouTube channel. So I have been part of that for quite a while. I grew up with those guys, Anders and Eskil. Anders makes short films, and then he makes a video that shows how to make them. So he's like filming behind the scenes the whole way through, and then he makes a short film. So he puts on his YouTube video and he's like, "Here's how we did this," and then he'll put the film at the end of it. The Camera Hack was our first major short film, and it was actually almost feature length. It was like almost 40 minutes long. Brilliant storyline. Him and a few of his friends wrote it together. Filmed it over 2 days. It's a pretty cool concept about a camera trapping people. When you take a picture, you will get trapped. It's a science fiction sort of action movie. We had so much fun making it. And that's also when I realized, because I was on set for a few days, because I was a supporting, I was a supporting actress. I realized that they need someone who's behind the camera and make sure that everyone's fed, everyone's properly looked after too. So I started doing that as well. For the second one, Only the Best, that was a camera review. The EVA 1 versus, the EVA 1 versus the GH5. And then the story is about a girl and she meets a guy and they fall in love. And then the first birthday she has, he gives her GH4, and she gets pissed off and have an argument because she wanted a GH5, and that's kind of the whole point. So it's a bit of a comedy. It was fun doing both of them, and I always enjoy the process with those guys because I know them and we get along well, and we just have so much fun on set, and that's what I want everywhere. I aim to be the kind of person that people want to work with again and again because it's easy and it's fun.
There you go.
But, yeah.
There you go. Awesome. Now, between 2018 and 2020, you were in Giant Ocean, Chat Zone, Immunities, Distance. So tell me also about your characters in those performances.
That's quite a lot. Well, for the Ocean, that is a music video. We made it for a competition and we won. Actually, I can't remember what the competition was, but it was pretty cool. It was just a guy on YouTube, Gian, who makes music, and my friend Anders reached out to him and said, "Hey, can we make a music video for your song?" My character in that music video basically plays a girl who has lost her parents, and she's quite young still, so she's dealing with that loss and that maybe a little bit of regret. You know, sometimes if you lose your parents too quickly, you feel a lot of regret because there are a lot of things that you didn't get to do or didn't get to talk about. So she's basically just visiting their old house and she's getting it ready for selling it, and she's sad and she's going through flashbacks and emotional stuff. And that was just a day of fun in the sun for us. We went out and we filmed the whole thing in one day and just went from one scene to another all the way through, and then added the music. And the only part that was bad about it was that I had to get in the water in the end, and I hate swimming in water that's cold, and that water was cold, so that wasn't fun. Yeah. So apart from that, Cats on Immunilize, that is a short film we actually filmed last year. It was filmed over Zoom because it was COVID, so the world shut down, and I got in contact with, through my agent in London, I got in contact with this production company that was making that film, and my agent has actually written the script for it because he's a producer and a script writer. So I play one of 4 characters that we've basically gotten a hold of these headsets that you can switch bodies for a day or for an hour or something. Okay. Yeah. So you put it in and then you switch bodies with the other person that's on the line, and then you get to experience their world for a few hours. And obviously, of course, it doesn't go as expected, and there's some stuff happening, and I'm not going to spoil it if you want to watch it, but it's pretty fun. Little science fiction movie.
There you go.
Yeah, and then finally Distance. That was a film we made September last year. We wrote it and then filmed it in 2 weeks, and it's a fantasy story. I play sort of a villain, but she has a pretty good backstory. It's just that you don't get to see it in the movie. We made it locally, just around the corner here. It was a micro-budget film. I definitely recommend you check it out because it's a pretty beautiful film. My boyfriend actually made the soundtrack for it as well. So
okay.
Yeah, you'll find it on YouTube, and I had so much fun. For the majority of the time, I was actually the first AD. So I was behind the camera, and then on the second day, I was also one of the actors. We also made a behind-the-scenes series for it. So if you go into the AndyX channel, you can see both Distance and you can see the behind-the-scenes, how we made it, which is quite interesting for, you know, people who want to know what goes on behind the scenes. And I definitely recommend for any actor out there to learn what goes on behind the scenes, what happens on set. If you've never been on a set, watch one of these behind the scenes, because you will understand everyone's role on set. You'll understand what goes on, and that's kind of important because you want to be prepared when you go on set.
Totally. Wow, how cool and amazing is that? Then also in 2020, you did the motion capture for Valerie, Isle of Spita in Conan Exiles. Tell me, was that like the first time you were doing mocap, and what were some of the things that you enjoyed the most about during that project?
It was definitely the first time I did motion capture. I am a super geek, so for me that was like the most awesomest thing that could have ever happened to me. I was running around wearing this hat. There was like a helmet with like light bulbs on it. My body had like all these little light bulb thingies, and there were cameras in the room, and then it was just like a room covered in pillows and then cameras, so I could run around everywhere. And I was running around screaming, "Watch out, Andy Serkis, I'm coming for you!" But yeah, it was awesome. The sad thing about it was that after we finished filming it, you will never get to see this because Funcom, who makes Conan Exiles, decided not to use the cutscenes that we made, or any cutscenes in the new extension. They just wanted straight up gameplay, no cutscenes. So the whole thing was just like pointless in a way. But I had so much fun and I learned so much, and it's just an entirely different way of acting, because the only thing you're acting with is your body, because the voiceover has been recorded already. It's someone else. It's someone else's voice. So all you're doing is acting with your body, which is, and it's just, you feel silly, but you just have to let it go.
Yeah, totally. And also there are even sometimes that they will do the voice acting and the motion capture at the same time. Yeah, well, yeah, sometimes you do voice acting and motion capture at the same time. I mean, Circus did that, but it really depends. Like, it depends on whether you embody the entire character, or most of the time the voice will be recorded somewhere else. Like, especially if it's an English film and they are doing some of the motion capture in Norway. Like, I know they did the same for Valhalla. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, they did that. Had the voiceovers recorded one place, and then they did the motion capture another place. So, yeah, it depends on the project. I totally agree on that. Now, what would you say is an important aspect for motion capture to be a successful one?
You really have to go all in with your body. Like, I don't know much about motion capture because I've only done it once, but what I learned that one time is that you have to be prepared to go all in. Like, I was running around that room, waving a wooden sword around, screaming, because you have to, like, it has to look real. Like, they need everything that they can get to model the character that you're playing around the outfit that you're wearing. So you really need to be prepared to, sweat. I can agree on that totally. Now, if you could do the voiceover or motion capture for any movie, TV show, or even a video game, which one you would choose? I would definitely say any fantasy or science fiction show, because I'm a big fan of Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. But also, if they ever were to make a sort of live action or close to live action Zelda film, I don't know if it's even possible because the storylines are so messed up, but Zelda is my favorite game of all time. All of them, but mostly Ocarina of Time. So if they were to make one of them, I would love to be a motion capture there.
There you go.
I like to make new games there. I don't know if they actually do motion capture for their characters there, but now with Breath of the Wild and the sequel, they might start to go in that direction. So I could definitely do that.
That would be cool. Then if at some point a producer is watching this, you know who to call. There
yes,
you go.
Thank you.
I'm gonna leave out a link on the description below so you can check it too. Now, what would you say to those who recently started doing? Well, you already said it, that basically it's all about putting all of your effort, right? So if someone is starting doing motion capture, basically you need to go all in. I mean, you can't, and you can tell, like the other day I was having this conversation with a friend of mine that back in the day, right, with video games, specifically, like, do you remember like how cringe or how awful the voice acting was sometimes, right? They will have like this hilarious or even awkward conversations. You'll be like, who's doing that? And it's so interesting now with technology that they're putting like a lot of effort in the cutscenes now, that they are looking like more realistic and like the face expressions and everything. So yeah, I totally agree that you need to go all in order to make it like more natural, so everybody can enjoy it.
Yeah, you really do. And don't lie on your resume, because if you say you can spin your swords, they will expect you to spin those swords, and you actually have to do it right. So don't lie on your resume, especially not for motion capture. That goes for everything, but especially not for motion capture, because you cannot fake that. Like, they have cameras and they record literally everything that you do, every movement. So yeah.
Totally. Now, you have also done some commercials too, such as Just a Kiss, DMV, Eiendom, Samsung, Gameru, Claire's product commercial series. So tell me how you usually prepare before doing a commercial.
That was pretty good Norwegian, by the way. You said Eiendom. It's how I prepare for commercials is pretty much the same as preparing for a film or a TV show or anything, but it's just less lines to learn. And it's usually one day of filming most of the time. So you learn the lines as like you want to know them by heart and you want to know them well because you want it to be proper. You know, you want it to sound realistic. And they usually don't have hair and makeup on the ones that I've done. Only the DNB one was hair and makeup. Be prepared for a lot of waiting, and bring your script with you. Be prepared to like be open and talk to people, and be there early. Like I would rather be there 10 minutes, 15 minutes early and have a coffee and just like chill than be late, because you don't want to be the reason why the recording is delayed, for sure. If there's anything else, I mean, to make sure you bring some food with you, because there will be a lot of waiting, and sometimes they don't have plans for food. Sometimes things will change. You need to make sure that you probably should have the whole day free, because sometimes things happen and things take more time than you think. But know the lines, know what they expect of you. If they ask for costume, bring your costume. Sometimes they'll have costume tryouts beforehand. Just do what you would do. Just be prepared.
There you go. Now, you were also in a music video for Christopher Edvardsen called Hey Now I'm Not Ready. Tell me, how was the process of shooting a music video, and what did you enjoy the most about it?
Well, in total now I think I've done 4 music videos, and it's a very similar process, except there is no lines, because there's not really much. It's going to be the people who are singing that are going to be doing most of the, like, they're going to be in front of the camera. You're basically just an extra, unless you're like with them, like playing a girl. With that music video, I was playing the girlfriend, and we were playing a couple that was sort of falling apart, and he wasn't ready to take the leap, and he wasn't ready to open up, and she needed him to open up, so they were just falling from each other. And for that, it's very much the same. Like, you go there, you want to pack some food, you don't want to expect anything, so you want to come there prepared. Bring some water, bring some snacks, and bring some clothes. Like, find out what they're expecting of you. Are they supplying the costumes? Are they doing hair and makeup, or do you need to do that before you show up? Listen to the song if they've sent it to you, so you know the vibe. Get to the mood of the scene you're playing. Are you playing a couple in love? Then you need to figure out, okay, how am I going to do that with a person that I barely know? You know, prepare yourself mentally for the feelings that you're going to be displaying or showing. Find out if there's food on set. Find out if you need to get to location, or if they'll pick you up. You know, have the conversations, and then show up prepared. And then just listen to the director.
There you go. Now, if you could describe your career at the moment in a movie or a TV show, what would be the title of it?
I would say probably The Chase. Because all I'm doing at the moment is chasing. I am chasing, I'm networking, I'm building, I am applying for things, I'm researching, I'm doing everything that I'm doing has a purpose, and the purpose is to get more acting jobs, so I'm chasing after them. I also like to think of it as the before the quiet, because at the moment I am doing so much, like insane amounts of stuff, because I have a full-time job, and then every other waking moment that I have free, I spend on working on something that will help me further my career somehow, whether it's social media, making my own content, writing a play, network with people, you know, everything like that. So there's so much, and I think, or I like to think, that once I get to where I want to go, I won't have to do that much, and I can just focus on the acting part. We'll see. It might be the other way around. It might be the quiet before the storm. It might explode, you know. Who knows?
Yeah, totally. I mean, the good thing here now is that whenever you will make a movie, you already have a title to it. So you can just go back here and be like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. You have a title already. Yeah, pretty much. Story of my life. There you go. And now, tell me, what can we expect from you in the future?
Well, I like to say you will see me as a superhero in Marvel, or an elf in the Lord of the Rings on Prime, or maybe a final girl in a horror movie, or in Star Wars, the Stormtrooper. But I mean, who knows? That is what I'm working against. Like, I want to work in fantasy, science fiction, horror, video games, all of that nerdy stuff, anything like that. I'm also open for other creative projects. I mean, it's always fun as an actor to get a character that challenges you, that makes you like want to rip your hair out because you're trying to figure out how to do this character really, and feel like you're growing as an actor. So I'm hoping for a lot more international work now that I am, number one, fully vaxxed and COVID is quieting down a little bit and we're ready to travel and I have my agent. But who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. But I'm super sure that eventually we will start to hear you in more, who knows? I mean, Star Wars games or the Lord of the Rings, or even in the whole Shadow of War, franchise. Who knows? Totally.
Who knows?
Now, my last question here is like, any advice to those who recently started following their dreams? What would you say to them?
My number one advice is never ever give up on your dreams. Like, just keep going. Like, if that road that you didn't work out, the choice that you tried didn't work out, try something else. Don't let anyone else tell you what your dreams should be. Don't let anyone tell you that you shouldn't do acting, because I mean, what do they know? Like, if you know in your heart that that's what you want to do, go for it. Go all in, and find people that you trust. And I always try to be the one who knows the least in the room so I can learn from other people. If I am the one who knows the most, I try to make an effort to teach people, because you never know who's in that room. One day, one of those people that you gave like some lessons to or that you taught might end up being the one who employs you and gives you the biggest job of your career. Always be a kind of person that people want to work with again. Be nice, be friendly, be inclusive. Understand that everyone who works on a film and TV set, or any job, I mean, they're just as important as you. You might be the star, but these people are making this happen. Like, the person behind the camera is filming you. They're recording your sound, the director, the makeup lady, the catering. Like, it's all so important. So respect people, learn, train, don't expect things to fall into your lap. Always work for it. Don't sit there and send out emails and expect things to happen. You have to actually make an effort. And if no one wants to hire you, then hire yourself. Write something yourself. Make it yourself. Put it out there. We have social media. People are going to see you no matter what. So make them see you. Make them see what you can do. And then they will eventually come back, or they will hire you because they see what you can do,
Totally.
Just don't give up. Never.
Totally. That is so amazing. I mean, you're totally right in everything here. I mean, you basically preach here, and that is so cool. That is so cool. I mean, at the end of the day, I can't wait to see more of your amazing work in the future. As I said before, I'm super sure we will be seeing you in this epic franchises one day, because you're killing it here. And if someone deserves it, and if someone is gonna reach it, it's gonna be you for sure. So I wanna give you an epic shout out for that. So because we finished the whole questions here, I need to give you an epic shout out first. So wait, something happened here. So okay, something happened. But basically, keep doing an amazing work here. Keep being that badass, super cool person you always are. Also, thank you so much for those who tune in. If you're listening this late on the podcast or watching this later on the YouTube channel, make sure that you're following that you're following Nikoline in all of her social media. Normally, what I would say is for you to pause, hydrate, leave a like, subscribe, and then go follow her. Leave 1 million likes here, spread the word, share her content, because we have an amazing, talented, super badass actress here right now. And if someone right now would tell me what do I think about your career, I would have to say this. Keep having an amazing rest of the day. I mean, an amazing evening. Yeah. I wish also have an amazing upcoming week. Keep killing it. And before I send you off, I need to send you off in an epic way. So here we go again. You deserve it.
Thank you so much.
And I'll see you in the next one then.
You have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.